Now, let's talk about the different ways to profit from the market and the different kinds of position you can have. You can basically be one of three things: long, flat, or short. Long is easy to understand. If you're long a stock, you've bought it and you want it to go up. If you're flat, it just means you don't have a position. Short is the one that gets beginners wondering, but it's easy to understand with a little analogy. Let's say you own an antique shop and a customer comes in and asks for a Ming vase. You don't have one, but you know where you can get one. So you tell him you have exactly what he wants and can get it for him for tomorrow. He agrees to pay you £1,000 and leaves your shop. You are now short one vase. You've sold something you don't own at the moment. A few minutes later, you phone your friend George, another dealer. Have you still got the Ming vase, you ask him? He agrees to sell it to you for £500. So you've closed your trade. The vase has been bought again and you are no longer short one Ming vase. When the customer arrives the next day, he takes delivery. This is separate from the financial transaction. The trade which made you £500 took place the day before. So the same is possible in stocks. When you go short some shares, you effectively borrow the stock from your broker in return for a deposit to cover a possible loss known as your margin, and then sell the shares you have borrowed, the shares you don't actually own. You have to buy them back to close the trade to be flat in the market again. The great thing about shorting is that it opens up a whole new side to the market. The average retail investor thinks only in terms of higher prices being good and lower prices being bad. You are liberated from this bias as a short-term trader. You don't care which direction your markets are moving, as long as there is volatility and direction. The markets that are most difficult to trade are low volatility sideways markets, where there is insufficient direction to make a profit either way. So let's take an example in this market here. This is the ES, the mini futures contract on the S&P in the States. Now here it's clearly going down, so buying it is probably not a good idea. We're going to short it instead. Let's take the green line as before as our entry price, and instead of buying, we're going to sell it short. That means we need a protective stop loss in case prices rise against us. Our stop loss, let's say we're going to put it at this red line here. Okay, so our entry is on this bar here, taken into our trade here, and if things go wrong, we will be taken out of the trade here for a fixed loss. Everything is exactly the same as when you are managing a long trade, a buy-side trade, but here it's in reverse. Everything is a mirror image of a long trade. So we want it to go down instead of up. We want our stop loss to be above the entry rather than below the entry. So long as you think in terms of it being a mirror image of a long trade, the basic concept is very simple to understand.